All right, welcome. This is Freddie Hodges with Duke Report, and this is my Duke football season record prediction as well as bowl projection, preseason bowl projection. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can head to Blue Devils blog to see a more in-depth preview of the bowl projection. If you're catching it on Twitter at Duke Report, like I said, you can go to Blue Devils blog or check out the YouTube channel to see the video as well as the article on bluedevilsblog.com. Before I get started, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Trisha Johnson with Property Navigators Real Estate. Contact Trisha Johnson, 540-814-3399 for all of your real estate needs for Smith Mountain Lake, Virginia, Franklin County, Virginia, and Roanoke, Virginia. With that said, college football season is 2 weeks away today from Friday night, Labor Day weekend. Duke opens the season with Elon at home. And before I start on my season prediction, I wanted to say I also have another article coming out a few days after this, as well as an extended video about 15 minutes detailing my entire ACC projections, season record predictions, as well as where I think all the ACC teams that qualify will end up in bowl projections. May do that again halfway through the season and then once more toward the end of the season. And also be on the lookout for Brian Kennedy of Duke Football Talk and mine bowl projections on Blue Devils blog weekly throughout the season. All right, with that said, let's look at the Duke football schedule. Got the cool schedule cards from Duke football. I always get these every year because I end up filling out one with X's and checks of wins and losses. And you can see the screenshot of my final season record prediction. And I filled this out August the 2nd, and you can see that on Blue Devils blog as well. All right, let's get started. Duke versus Elon, August 30th. It's a home game. I have Duke winning that game. I think it should be definitely double digits and be hopefully fairly easy. Duke then heads to Northwestern. I'm kind of excited about that game. That's another Friday game. They got back-to-back Friday games. I can see it being a little bit tough. I'm curious to see excited to see how the stadium is and how the wind is with the kickoffs and everything. But I do have Duke beating Northwestern to go 2-0. The next week, Duke has Connecticut, UConn at home. I have that as a win as well. So I do have Duke starting the season 3-0. And then they travel the following Saturday at Middle Tennessee State. Looking forward to this game as well. I do think Duke football comes out strong, and I see Duke starting the season 4-0 before they welcome Chapel Hill North Carolina, to Wallace Wade Stadium on Saturday, September 28th for a battle for the victory bell. Didn't really go back and forth on this one. I picked Duke to beat North Carolina and start the season 5-0. It has been a few years since the victory bell has been in Durham. The last two games have been some nail biters right down to the end. And I do think the tide turns and Manny Diaz and Duke football will bring the victory bell back to Durham. With that looking so far, I have Duke starting the season 5-0. They then head October 5th, Saturday, to Georgia Tech. I did go back and forth with this game, but I have Duke beating Georgia Tech to start the season 6-0. And I think by then, Duke football will possibly be ranked in the top 25 with a 6-0 record. My schedule prediction is an up and down roller coaster. I didn't like it, but the schedule just gets so much more brutal later on. That coming Friday, Duke has an off week. Yes. And then that coming Friday, October 18th, a game where I'm looking forward to, Duke versus Florida State in Wallace Wade Stadium. I do have this as a loss. I have Florida State in the playoff. I have them as a top 4 team winning the ACC championship. So I have them as a playoff team. And I have Florida State winning that against Duke. Following Saturday versus SMU, I did go back and forth on this game, but I did give the edge to SMU, and I have SMU beating Duke. So far that would put Duke at 6-2. So they're already bowl eligible if they went 6-0 like I predicted. But up next is November 2nd at Miami. This is one of those games all Blue Devils fans and Miami fans will be glued to the TV, if not at the game in Miami. I did pick Miami to win. However, I'm kind of shaky on that pick because I could see the Duke football getting the upset for Manny Diaz, and that would be a special one. But I did pick Miami to win. At NC State, November 9th, I'm going to be honest, it's another one I kind of went back and forth. I did give NC State the win, especially after Duke beat them the way they did last season. I think NC State is looking for revenge. I think NC State has this marked on their calendar, but I could see the Duke getting the win, but I did pick NC State to win. November 23rd versus Virginia Tech at Wallace Wade Stadium. I picked Virginia Tech to win. I'd love to see Duke get the upset on this one, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you, if you watch my other season predictions and bowl projections, I have Virginia Tech in the college football playoff with Florida State. I have both of them in the ACC championship game. I live in Virginia. I'd love nothing more for Duke to beat Virginia Tech, but I think Virginia Tech is going to do something special this year. Duke finishes the season in Winston-Salem at Wake Forest. I have Duke winning this game to finish the season with a record of 7-5 and qualify for the bowl season. Now, Freddie's Duke Reports bowl projection, I went back and forth on this one. I started early in July thinking it was going to be the Fenway Bowl. I then went through some calculations, overthinking this, rewriting out papers, and then I picked the Pinstripe Bowl. After going back through and picking out my other ACC projections, I don't have Duke home alone, lost to New York. I have Duke heading to the Gasparilla Bowl, and that will be on December the 20th, 2024. Duke playing in the Gasparilla Bowl, and if that happens, I would welcome some warm weather, a warm weather bowl game, especially for December, and I think that would be a good season. To finish off, I could see the low for Duke, 4 or 5 wins, but I could see the ceiling for Duke being possibly 8 wins, maybe 9 if everything is firing on all cylinders. So again, I think the low could be 4 wins. I think the high could be 9 wins with that brutal schedule. But I think 6-6 is a safe bet, but I went with 7-5, and once again, I have Duke beating Elon, Northwestern, Connecticut, Middle Tennessee, North Carolina, Georgia Tech to start off 6-0 and just qualify for that bowl game. Then I see the brutal schedule having them lose to Florida State, SMU, Miami, NC State, Virginia Tech. That would be 5 losses in a row. I hope it doesn't go that way. I hope my projection's wrong, but I also have them finishing the season winning against Wake Forest and finishing 7-5. And that is Duke Reports preseason record prediction and bowl projection. I hope to see you all out at Wallace Wade Stadium 2 weeks from today for Friday night of Labor Day weekend. And until then, stay cool, my friends. And also, there will be more coverage coming later this season. Brian Kennedy of Duke Football Talk and myself will be doing the weekly bowl projections. Check Blue Devils blog for those. Basketball season's around the corner. I've got some exciting things coming for that. Some really cool articles coming out and some other news for that, so stay tuned. All right.